everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today we are talking about the movie Nope. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go ahead and watch the movie first before you watch this review. Nope is the newest movie from director-writer Jordan Peele from Key and Peele. It's about some siblings who own a horse farm and who encounter, I guess, extraterrestrial activity. So as far as what I liked about the movie, overall the cast was great. Daniel Kaluuya was back. He worked with Jordan Peele in Get Out. Keke Palmer in here I think was really good as well. She's on that side. It's backwards for me. Yeun as well, really good in this as Jupiter, the child star. I like Brandon Perea as the sort of tech guy who helps him install all the cameras. I thought he was really good. Michael Wincott's in here. I haven't seen him in anything in a while, I feel like, but he was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and The Crow back in the 90s. Keith David's in here briefly in the beginning as their dad. And I actually really like Andrew Patrick Ralston, who is in there briefly as the sitcom dad that Stephen Yeun was on as a kid. I thought the sound mixing in this movie was really good. It's the kind of thing I don't necessarily notice sound mixing very often. It's the sort of thing that if it's done well, you don't generally notice it. You only notice it when it's either really bad or really good. And in this movie, I thought it was really good. I really liked it. It was very effective. And overall, I like most of the music in here. They used the song Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart, which is kind of a cheesy old 80s song, but it's a song that I like. So, and a couple other songs that I really thought were, good and fit the mood and stuff. So yeah, good music overall. The movie starts out with this sort of jockey film, which is a real thing. It's called The Horse in Motion. And it was pretty much the first film as far as I know. As far as in real life, we don't know who the jockey was, but in the movie they say it was their great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. So that was an interesting little thing. I didn't really know that much about that. I had seen the film before, but I guess I never thought about the jockey before. So it was interesting for them to bring that up. I thought the movie was really original. It's nice to see an original movie. Everything seems to be based on a comic book or a movie or a reboot or an adaptation or whatever. And see something that's, pretty much totally original is really cool. And I think Jordan Peele with all three of his movies have been fairly original ideas, so that's really cool. The movie's really well made. I think, film aficionados would probably appreciate this. Anyone who went to film school or knows about it, and I'm sure will rave about it and say how technically, it is really good, and it is. It's true. It's very well made. He's a very competent director. I thought the comedy in here worked. There's probably more comedy in this movie than his previous two films, and there was some really funny laugh out loud stuff. Specifically for me, Keke Palmer was good, and also whenever Daniel Kaluuya's character OJ said nope, it was usually pretty funny. Got a big laugh out of the audience. I like the reference to the SNL sketch, which of course doesn't exist. But shouting out Chris Kattan, he doesn't get enough love. I don't know if he knows Jordan Peele personally or what. I like to imagine, though, that was just a surprise. And all of a sudden, Chris Kattan's like, hey, all right, cool. That's fun. I don't know. I thought the tension's really good. There's a couple scenes where it's very tense, where they're like trying to, get footage of the spacecraft or the alien or whatever it is, and then when they're trying to like change the film, and it's sort of this kind of rushed, hurried thing to do and stuff. And there's a lot of really good tension-filled moments that you're like watching it, and anytime they were getting attacked, or about to get attacked, it was all really good and really fun. The object falling from the sky kind of thing I thought was really interesting. It sort of opens with that, Keith David's in there, and I'm like, oh, I love Keith David. And then all of a sudden he dies, and it's very shocking and surprising. It comes out of nowhere, and at first it's like, what even happened? It looked like he got shot by arrows or something, and then you see like a key embedded in like this horse, and so it looks like random objects just sort of rained from the sky. So I did like that. I like the look of the spaceship. The monster sort of creature, at least most of the look of it. It had this interesting sort of, at first it looked mostly like a traditional kind of spaceship kind of thing, but slightly different, it had almost like a stingray sort of appearance to it. And then it had this sort of aperture or orifice, if you will, and the bottom that, looked sort of typical of most UFOs or whatever, where it would be a tractor beam or something like that. But in this case, it seemed to be more of a, like I said, an orifice, some sort of a mouth or oviduct of some sort. I'm not sure. So yeah, that was cool. That was interesting. It looked different than what I'm used to seeing. As far as what I disliked about it, the movie had, so I heard the Oppenheimer trailer was going to play before this, but it was weird because they played it after it seemed like the movie was going to start. Like, I don't know, with the theater where I go, the guy who owns it comes out and like says, "Hey, thanks for watching the movie. Enjoy the feature or whatever." And he says that, and then all of a sudden, what seems like a movie starts playing, and you're like, well, "This doesn't seem right." And you're like, "Oh, okay, this is the trailer for Oppenheimer." All right, that's cool and all, but like I'm ready to watch a movie. I didn't appreciate the psychotic. I don't know if they were going for that, but either way. Then after that the movie starts, and then there's this monkey paw vanity card, which I really liked it. It's cool, this like kind of stop motion claymation kind of thing. But after the Oppenheimer trailer, I'm like, okay, let's just get to the movie, guys. Like, come on, man. And then it opens with the Bible verse, and again, I don't like the Bible, so anytime something starts with the Bible, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is nonsense. So hey, thanks for letting me know. And then the opening credits, I noticed this with his last movie. I just watched Us before this, and he has very, the kind of long credits that just show the names of the people, which of course you want to give people credit, but that's sort of a pet peeve of mine. Just, I don't know, maybe I have ADHD, but just getting the movie going. Like, let's go, man. I don't need this slow, long credit sequence that's showing something, which in this case, it did come back, and what they were showing was important. And the same thing with Us, what they were showing. But for me, it's just such a long, slow shot. It just like lingers for such a long time. And that for me is sort of an issue I have with Jordan Peele in general. He just does these very long, very slow shots. And a lot of people are doing that. It seems to be kind of a common thing these days, a popular style of directing. And I'm sure they're smarter than me, and they know what they're doing, and they're setting a mood and making an atmosphere and everything else. But to me, I'm just like, get to the point. Like, come on, let's go, And so a biggest issue I have with this movie is it's way too long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. And it feels like it. It feels like you're watching a TV show or something. Like it's just very, very long. Just entirely too long. Like, no horror movie needs to be over 2 hours. Like, hour and a half, if anything. Maybe hour 45 if you really need it. But like, you don't need any more than that. So like, because it's long like this, there are parts of it, like specifically like in the middle kind of part in the second act, where it's just kind of boring. There's just a lot of I don't know, just. Again, it's supposed to be character building. It's supposed to be development, but there's not really a ton of character building, as far as I know. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya's character OJ has an arc. Other than that, not really. I mean, I guess maybe Stephen Young's character does. Keke Palmer doesn't change much, as far as I can tell. But I guess she achieves what she wanted, so she had a goal at least. So I don't know. But yeah, it took a little too long, and I feel like they could have cut out some of the stuff. They could have shortened some of those very long, lingering shots. They could have maybe cut out some kind of side plot stuff. And, it would have been a much better movie, in my opinion. But hey, I don't know. People are stupid in this movie. It kind of bothers me a little bit. I understand, it's a crazy situation. You're not used to it, so you're going to act weirdly. But I don't know. I don't like when people are just completely stupid. So like Michael Wincott, he plays the cinematographer, he dies in kind of a dumb way, where like, I get what they're going for. He's like so transfixed by this creature, and he wants to get this amazing shot, so he like sort of sacrifices himself to get the shot. But then like, what's he no one's going to see that shot. Like, if he would have like tried to drop the camera or throw it down or somehow preserve that film so other people could see it, then like I would kind of get it. But I mean, I guess he's just so wrapped up in it. He's just, he doesn't care about other people seeing it. He just wants to see it for himself. And like, why is he filming it? It's not like he can watch that film later, but like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it also kind of doesn't. So, yeah, as far as that, there's also the TMZ guy who, I sort of get, but I get why he was who he was, but also like, I don't know why. I didn't really understand why OJ felt the need to save him. I mean, I would have just been like, hey man, I tried to warn you. Like, that's it. Enough people have died at this point. I don't care about some random TMZ guy I met. I get he's the good guy. He's supposed to help people, but like, I don't know. Also, why was it TMZ? I think the movie's supposed to be set in Agua Dulce, which I had to look it up. It's 40 miles away from, Hollywood. So TMZ is the 30 mile zone. I don't know how specific that is, but I don't know. But it just seemed like maybe it would be more like a, National Enquirer or Weekly World News or something like that. I don't know if they still exist, but I don't know. Maybe it would be something TMZ would cover. I thought they just mostly did celebrities. There's a CGI chimp that sort of the movie opens with the sound of it, and then later you see, no, it actually opens with the chimp. You hear the sound at first, and then you see the chimp, and then the CGI is not great on the chimp. It's not terrible, but I guess when you've seen like the Planet of the Apes movies and stuff, I've gotten used to a certain level, and this one is not quite as good as what I'm used to, I suppose. There is some, cruelty to horses in this. Of course, I'm sure in real life they treated the horses completely humanely, and there's actually a good chance a lot of the horses were more CGI than I realized. As much as I was criticizing the chimp, I don't think I realized the CGI horses. But that being said, in the movie, there is cruelty depicted to horses, which I can see some people being upset by. And I don't personally care too much, but I did find it surprising that the characters were okay with it. It seemed like they were totally okay with sacrificing their horses to this, creature or this UFO or whatever. And I just thought, I don't know. I've never owned horses. I just assumed you'd have a little bit more of an attachment to them than that. The whole not looking at it thing, I didn't necessarily get. I mean, I sort of understood the parallels to taking care of horses and stuff and sort of treating them a certain way and not looking at them to sort of spook them. But I guess, was that supposed to be an allegory for something else? Was that supposed to be sort of some kind of a metaphor for something in real life as well? Not acknowledging people who are sort of trying to invade or stare at you, or what exactly? Also, how can this creature know that we're looking at it? Like, I guess it sees our eyes. So would wearing sunglasses or the mirrored helmet kind of thing help? I guess it didn't with the one guy because the alien saw him. But then at some point, Kaluuya puts like reflectors on the back of his head. So like, wouldn't the alien think that those are eyes? Sorry, I had to get a drink there. So I don't know. Just, I guess I didn't quite understand exactly all of that aspect of it. And then I guess not enough is really explained in this movie. A lot is sort of ambiguous. And that's something I noticed a bit with his last movie, Jordan Peele's last movie, Us, as well, which is fine. I don't mind. At some point, I realized that the characters only know so much. So we can only know as much as the characters know. And I understand that. But I guess it's still a little frustrating. I wish a little bit more was explained. Like, what is this creature? Where did it come from? What does it want? Are there more of them? Why did the balloon kill the creature? Because I understand it can't really handle foreign matter, but like, was there something particular about the balloon, or was it the helium in the balloon? Because the creature then like exploded, which sort of surprised me, I guess. And like at some point it seemed to ingest, or it started to take in like some barbed wire and concertina wire and stuff. You would think that would also hurt it, but I don't know. I understand they had to figure out some way to kill it. And like I said, even though I like the look of the spaceship monster thing overall, there was this sort of, like I said, the sphincter, whatever you call it, part of it, where it sort of opened up and there's these sort of ribbons coming up. And it was, to me, oddly sort of square, which, it's an alien thing. I understand it's supposed to look weird, but then it just opens multiple times to the point where it's just like opening like, I don't even know, 10 times, something like that. It's where it's almost like funny at that point, where it's just like, okay, how many times is this thing going to keep doing? Or maybe that's just the way that it does. I guess I thought it was going to open and then something would come out, or it would be fully, I don't know. I just didn't like the look of that part, I guess. So other than that, it's directed by, like I said, Jordan Peele, who is his third movie. He did Get Out and Us before this. It had a much bigger budget, and I think Us had around 25-30 million. I don't know about Get Out, but this one had a $68 million budget, so a bit more. But it's projecting to make about 50 million opening weekend, so I'm sure it'll probably make its money back. People have discussed or theorized online that maybe NOPE is an acronym for Not of Planet Earth. They have not confirmed or denied that as far as I know, and they don't really acknowledge it in the movie, but it is capitalized, so it does lead you to believe that it may be an acronym of some sort, and the creature does appear to be not of planet Earth. And then speaking of acronyms, they also mentioned UAP is now what they call UFOs, which is an unidentified aerial phenomena. And the one character in the movie theorizes it's because, they want to take the power away from the term UFO or something like that. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I think I'd heard that before, though. And then the character named OJ, which is interesting. Again, you have a character named OJ. He is Otis Jr., but also OJ is a very famous OJ who, famously killed his wife and her boyfriend. So allegedly. So I guess what was the point of that? Was it just a funny thing? Like, hey, there's other people named OJ. Like, why not? Like, is it like having a movie with a character named Adolf or something? Like, hey, other people named Adolf. It's it's a thing that happens. I don't know. Or was there supposed to be more to that? I'm not sure. Like I said before, I really feel like if this movie were a half hour, 45 minutes shorter, I would have loved this movie, you know, or if I were able to watch it at like 1.5 speed, maybe just speed it up a little bit. I would think this movie was great. This would be an easy, like, you know, 8 or maybe even a 9 for me. Like I overall actually really kind of like the movie. It's just so long and so slow. And I feel like I will probably like it more upon second viewing. Maybe not. I sort of had a similar thing with the Batman. The first time I watched it, didn't like it very much, and I kind of was ready to give it a bad review, and then watched it a second time, and I really appreciated it more. And the length didn't bother me as much since I knew what I was going for. I guess it's like going on a long journey. Like when the first time you do it, you're like, oh man, this is too much. But the more you do it, the more you're like, no, it's not so bad. I will say it's not a horror movie, and I don't know if they marketed it as a horror movie. It seemed like they kind of did, but certainly it's much more of a sci-fi movie than it is a horror movie. And so it's much closer to say like Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Signs than it is to most horror movies, other than maybe Jaws. There's definitely a bit of a Jaws influence where I feel like maybe much the way that Spielberg was trying to make you fear the water, he was trying to make you fear the sky, I suppose. So in that regard, I feel like I admired the movie more than I liked it. And I feel like that's almost a cliche that I could use at this point about some movies, but like I like the idea of it. I thought it was cool that they were trying something different. And I feel like, you know, people are probably saying it's great and it's getting really good reviews, and they're probably right. And I think history will probably regard this movie fairly well. But for me, there was just something a little bit that was just missing. I think, I guess overall, there was just something about, I guess, what was the point overall, or what was the sort of allegory or the parallels that he was trying to draw? Were there any? I guess there didn't have to be, you know. What was the point of the shoe standing up? Did that mean something? Was there a deeper meaning to that, or was that just like, ooh, crazy, the shoe is standing up? Did we really need the whole like backstory with the chimp attacking the people? I sort of got it for Stephen Yeun's character, but could they have cut that out entirely? Did we really need it to explain the sort of thing there? Was there some sort of a thing about like, did the aliens represent, or this creature sort of represent like wanting to be seen, and then once you are seen, like not appreciating or not liking the scrutiny that comes with that, or just not acknowledging people who are sort of staring at you when you don't want them to? You know, does it have to do with race? Does it have to do with society? Like, I don't know. Do movies have to? Did Jaws have a deeper meaning besides a shark? I don't know. Maybe. I think it was about getting older and dealing with stuff. It's probably about divorce. All Steven Spielberg's movies are about divorce, I think. But I don't know. So I think overall for me, even though I do like the movie and I feel like my opinion may change, I think overall my score is going to be a 6 out of 10 on this one. I think it could have been better. I will probably like it more, and I will probably regret saying that, but that's my initial response. That's what I think. So yeah. So if you disagree, or if you had a different opinion, let me know what you thought of the movie down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and I will see you here again next week.